One, I am here trying to figure out. I am trying to figure out. I am really trying to figure out. Okay, anyway, I am really trying to figure out who is she trying to choke? Who is she gonna choke? Who is she gonna choke? Because at the end of the day, my name ain't Pumpkin. Is his name Pumpkin? His name ain't fucking Pumpkin. You got a problem addressing people by their name. Oh, I love YouTube. Not YouTube. No, it's kind of YouTube. I love Twitter because you just be finding the funniest videos and they just be making memes out of anything. Like if you look at the likes in my YouTube section, you will see a video where this woman goes off on this other woman at T-Mobile because this bitch was being disrespectful as hell. Apparently, this bitch worked at T-Mobile, and we find out that she killed her child, her 2-year-old, back in 2011. I'm trying to figure out how they hired her because T-Mobile sales associate is kind of a good job. You have to have some sort of like, I think you have to be trained in computers and electronics. Like it's a pretty good job. Like it's a starter job for if you want to go into computer engineering, as I understand. So I'm trying to figure out how they give her a job if she's a child killer. Like I think in some areas they just hire anybody, but this bitch was off her rocker. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny, like ableist, but like I seriously thought that there may have been something wrong with her. Like it just wasn't normal. Maybe she was high or something. But the woman Tiara that was sitting here acting so calm, I don't understand. But that video is hilarious. Like when I am having a bad day for now on the rest of the week, I will be going back to that video just to have a good laugh. Anyway, briefly, let's talk about Carmelo Anthony and Lala situation because baby Lala and Carmelo, as you know, are getting a divorce because Lala filed for it. And there's a picture of her walking out of the court, and she just looked completely hurt. And I understand because she's been married to the man for 13 years since 2004. And to find out that he gets some woman pregnant, and probably intentionally too, that could really break someone. But what kind of made me mad was that people were trying to defend a woman and say, well, she's not like a stripper. She's not like those other girls that are being tricked off. She didn't get started off like Lala because she's actually a regular person with a successful job and she got 2 degrees. So, like, Carmelo Anthony probably respected her more and they had a real relationship. It's not like, a side chick where she's just a hoe to him. And I think that's wrong on all accounts. Basically saying like, oh, well, it's different because she's a successful woman, so we can excuse that. But if she were like Black China, then we can slut shame her. My thing of the matter is, I say all the time, do not blame the other woman for like what a man decides to do. But I think in this particular case, she needs to be looked at sideways as well because baby girl, you knew for 13 years they've been public. This isn't like, some obscure couple. Like if you are a black woman, you knew. Like y'all can't sit there and say, oh, she didn't know and you need to stop pitting women against each other, because I feel like if a woman willingly goes after a married man or pursues a man who's in a relationship with another woman, I feel like you pick yourself against that woman because you're basically saying, I know you're in a relationship with this woman, but I think I'm better than her. I think I can possibly win you. That's what it says to me. It does. Like, I feel like blaming the other woman is misogynistic, but at the same time, feeling as if you can take another man from another woman is internalized misogyny as well. Let's get that out of the way. So I'm just not here for the glorification of women who are good looking, supposedly taking another man, because that's disgusting to me. If you are someone that knows someone is in a relationship and you are being scrutinized, not like being called a slut or anything, but if someone's like calling you trash and trying to get you to see like how you're a wrong person as well, you can't sit here and use that whole, oh, well, you're not a feminist if you don't like me because I willingly participated in the betrayal of another woman. Like, no, like you can't do that. Like if you wrong, you wrong. You wrong, so you need to take that responsibility. Like the Tiny and Ti situation. Like Tiny did call the other woman a jump off, or one of Ti's, something about how Ti is just like fucking her or something like that. And I'm like, Tiny, you wrong for that, but I can see why you would say such a thing, because you're hurt, you're upset. But yeah, sometimes you can't, like, if you someone that willingly gets into a relationship while someone is still in a relationship, you can't sit here and be like, oh well, um you're not a feminist because you're blaming the other woman and you're slut shaming me. Like, nobody's even slut shaming you. They are just saying that you are just as trifling and trash. Maybe not as trash, but as someone, like, I would never get with someone who's in a relationship. Like, I would never do such a thing. Like, I may joke and stuff, but if you are someone that willingly pursues someone while they are in a relationship, expect criticism, expect people to say something to you. Like, you can't sit here and just look like you are like the victim, especially if you are someone who is bringing a child into this world. Like, that seems deliberate to me. It does. So, I mean, you do you, baby. You do you. But then don't sit here and say, well, I didn't know, or she couldn't have possibly known, because it's not like Carmelo Anthony is like, this big household name outside of sports. Like, you're full of shit. Like, first y'all sit there and say that Carmelo Anthony is big enough, where Lala Anthony was just using him and she's a gold digger, and she was nothing before Carmelo Anthony, even though she got started off being a TRL host on MTV. Now, oh, he's not big enough for the woman to have possibly known that he and Lala have been dating or married for 13 years. Like, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. I'm not here for it. And if she were a darker skinned woman, y'all would have y'all would have went in on her if she looked like Fantasia or somebody, because just the other day, another woman comes out and says that she is pregnant by Drake. She is an Instagram model. Her name, I forgot her name already, but she is a BBW. She's thick, she's dark skinned, she's attractive, but people were saying she wasn't attractive enough for Drake to get pregnant. It was mostly lighter skinned or skinny girls sitting there saying that, and saying that her body is deformed, that she's not pretty enough for Drake to get pregnant on purpose, just all these horrific things, that just didn't apply to the situation. My thing is, the woman could be lying. The woman could be lying, because I don't feel as if Drake is stupid enough to, like, purposely get someone pregnant. If he did, that's on you, Drake. But I don't feel as if Drake, of all people, would just be out here, sleeping around without protection. That's why I'm feeling some type of way about it, because I just feel like Drake is not that reckless. Like, I feel like certain things that he says in the songs is just a persona. So I don't necessarily think that she's 100% lying, but something does not sound right. We know that she's pregnant, so this could be Drake's child. Definitely a paternity test must be on the way. I just can't understand why people cannot take responsibility for possibly getting someone pregnant. If you had sex with this girl, then there may be a possibility that you impregnated her. You can't just say, well, I use protection, so there's no way. No, like, sometimes shit breaks, sometimes things seep out, sometimes there are holes, like tiny little holes that you don't even know, and condoms are only like 80% foolproof. So, as I said, condoms are only like about 80 to 88% foolproof, so is it really impossible for Drake to have gotten some girl pregnant, even if they did use a condom? Now, she could have been on a pill, but if y'all just go buy condoms, like, better. Like, yeah, you ain't gonna get, like, pregnant, like, half the time, but you still gotta be careful, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, Drake, if you had sex with her, then there's a possibility that you may be the father of her child. Like, you can't sit here. Like, y'all need to go into this thinking, like, if she happens to get pregnant, you have to understand that you may be the father of the child, and you got all this money. Like, you ain't someone that's struggling. Like, you got all this money and you trying to avoid her calls. You should be ashamed of yourself if you are doing that, because I can't understand why anyone want to sit here and act like somebody may not be their child. Like, come on, you may not like the person, you may, like, you may not want anything to do with the person, but all you gotta do is just send them a check every fucking month. Like, that's all that is. You cannot have anything to do with that person. But yeah, y'all want to sit here and just be childish and then ignore somebody's calls because you mad that it didn't go out the way that you planned, you know. Some men are just childish as hell. You know, y'all want to fuck around and lie down, but then when somebody else gets pregnant, then it's like, it ain't my child. Like I said, like, she could be lying because just the wording and like some of the text that she sent of Drake just did not seem right to me. But you never know. But that's all I have to say. Like a few pop culture things, like not a lot on my mind. But if I have something else to talk about, then I will. But until then, have a great morning.